down there?
It's me, Nicole.
Welcome to the basement. We're North Metro Paranormal. My name is Terry.
My name is Nicole.
And I'm TJ. And this is the Spooky Skoogs podcast. Today we're going to be talking about S.K. Pierce.
Yeah, that's in Massachusetts. What's the town it's in?
Gardner.
Gardner. Yeah, it's very close to the border over there.
Yeah.
It's up northwest.
Yep. Yeah. I'll be going into the history about S.K. Pierce Mansion. So S.K. Pierce Mansion is a 7,000 square foot mansion in Gardner, Massachusetts. It is a historic Victorian home known for its association with a wealthy furniture magnate. A period of decline and tragedy, and its modern day reputation as one of the most haunted houses in the United States. Built between 1873 and 1875 for Sylvester K. Pierce, a successful local chair manufacturer. The mansion was an architectural marvel of its time, featuring intricate hand-carved woodwork, running water, and gas lighting. The mansion hosted many esteemed guests during the Pierce's time, including former U.S. President Calvin Coolidge, artist Norman Rockwell, and showman P.T. Barnum. It also served as a meeting place for the Freemasons, of which Pierce was a member. Tragedy also struck the family early when Sylvester's first wife, Susan, died from a bacterial infection just a week after moving into the new mansion. After Sylvester and his second wife, Ellen, passed away years later, the house was eventually taken over by their youngest son, Edward. During the Great Depression, Edward Pierce faced financial difficulties and converted the mansion into a boarding house to generate income. The period marked decline for the once grand home, reportedly becoming a hub for illicit activities such as gambling, heavy drinking, and prostitution.
Woo! It's about time. Well, yeah, maybe that's where the extra energy comes from.
Yes, because I'm going to read more. Several deaths occurred in the house during this period and following decades, contributing to its dark history. Edward's 2-year-old daughter, Rachel, died in the home from an infection. In 1963, a Finnish immigrant boarder named Eno Sari burned to death in a second-floor bedroom in a fire of mysterious origin, leading some to speculate about the spontaneous combustion, which we were in that room.
Yeah.
It was the red room, wasn't it? No, it was the next door to the red room.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was very, there was hardly no damage. You'd think a fire in the room would have created worse, although it was many years ago, maybe they fixed it, but you'd think there'd be some kind of this is where we had to replace this or we had to replace that.
Yeah, they don't really say anything.
That's why the spontaneous combustion comes in, because it was so localized.
Yeah. Also, an unconfirmed local lore speaks of a sex worker being murdered and her body hidden in the basement, a story fueled by later discovery of a female pelvic bone in the basement by a future owner. In 2009, new owners Edwin and Lillian Otero moved in, but were reportedly driven out by intense paranormal activity. In 2015, the mansion was sold for $329,000 to Rob Conti, who further restored the property and opened it to the public for tours, ghost hunts, and overnight stays, capitalizing on its haunted reputation. The mansion is widely considered one of the most haunted houses in the United States. In 2022, the S.K. Pierce was officially listed on the National Register of Historic Places, recognizing its architecture and historic significance. The mansion was sold again for around $800,000 in September 2025 to local buyers committed to preserving its legacy and opening it for new public events.
Yeah, now they got, now you can actually spend the night there. I think they're capitalizing a lot more on the paranormal there, which they always were, but now they're actually really trying to get into the getting people in, spending the night there, which is new.
Yeah, because they didn't have it. They just had tours.
Yep. Tours, and you could investigate till like 2 or something, and then you were done, which
Yep.
a lot of times that's all you need. But
Does it live up to the one of the most haunted houses in States? Out of all the places you've gone, does anything make it stand out?
I mean, I think by experience.
just with Vance's experience in the closet, we were all in there.
Yeah. Which
just-
we'll hear about.
Yeah, when we'll have
Soon.
him on and hear his take on how he perceived it.
Because
So-
it's a gorgeous mansion when you walk
Oh,
in.
it's
I mean,
beautiful. Yeah. All the woodwork is
yeah.
pretty
Yep.
decent. And yeah, I
Well-
just love the layout of the old Victorian homes.
Is it well, again, I wasn't at this one. It was U3. So what's the drive up again? Is it secluded? Is it neighborhood?
It's in a small town.
Okay.
It's right, hate to say this, but it is right on a corner.
But you drive up to it. The way that we.
There's a liquor store across the
Yeah.
street. It's a small town.
Yep. And the
There's
way
no-
that we got there is you drive actually like almost right to it. Like you take a left and then it's like it's on like a hill almost.
Yep, it's up a little higher,
Yeah.
so you kind of, if you're driving by, you have to kind of look up to it.
Mhm.
It's it kind of says, "Here I am."
Yeah.
A little bit of dramatic effect when you're driving up to
Yes, because it's like
Oh, yeah.
it's the biggest building I think right there on that street.
Biggest house, that's for
Yeah.
sure, that I've seen.
Yep.
Yeah, and everything else was more modern. I mean, gas
Yep.
station and like I said, there's a liquor store across the street, a little bar, kitty corner from it. Just
And I think across the street is that's where the furniture manufacturer company was.
yep. I think that would be to the west of it.
Yes.
I know we get turned around, but I would say the west, just across the street from the west of it, was where the furniture manufacturer was.
Well, that'll tie into like one of our previous tip of the months was know what's around your location. So now you
Correct.
know there's a liquor store, there's a gas station, there is a town there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. So if you had to leave there, yeah, I think there, I don't know how long the gas station was open, but you should know those things. Like when we went to Villisca, the first thing I asked when we went into the gas station, the Casey's, how late are you open and how long is the kitchen open
Yeah.
for?
How long are you
And they
making?
said midnight, I believe. And they go, "Oh, you're investigating tonight and up there?" I said, "Yep." So they're all used to it there. So that works out.
So this place, when you walk in, you said it was really nice. Was it kept up? Everything was,
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It was in its time. Yep. Everything was period.
Pretty much period correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was huge kitchen, beautiful sitting area. All the stairs were so grand and
Yeah, I love the stairs. I always love
Beautiful.
the stairs. You know, the stairs that go up to a landing and then turn and go up again are always neat to me.
Yep.
That's just such a Victorian thing to do on a bigger home.
yeah, it was. And then second floor, just open with the bedrooms on the second floor.
Oh.
The bedrooms are huge.
Yes, they were.
Yep.
Every one. It was not like, you know, when you go into an older home in the cities, we're just a regular modest home. You know, all the bedrooms are 10 by 10,
Yeah.
you know, or smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, every room was, I don't know, 14 by 16 at least.
At least.
Yeah.
Yep. It
And
was
then
nice sized bedrooms.
my favorite part was the widow's walk.
Mm-hmm. I was
That's
going
the
to say.
staircase that goes up to a small, you could maybe put a chair up there, which I would.
I didn't go up there.
Oh, what?
You and
That's
Vans,
what's
I
up
didn't
there.
go up there.
Yep. And I mean, we took pictures from out that window up
Yeah.
on top. Yeah. So anytime you see something new, I learned while we were there, it was called the widow's walk. Anytime you see one of those rounded corners that go up to a little, I don't know, what would you say? Maybe an 8-foot circle, if that, and that's including the staircase. So it takes away from a lot of the surface you sit on.
Yeah.
What kept you from going up there?
I'm trying to remember.
I am too. I don't know why you
I don't
didn't
know
want
why
to
I
go.
went up. It was tight. I think I was just nervous that such tight quarters.
I think you need to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
I realized that when we went to BD Mansion,
Yep.
you said you really didn't like going downstairs.
No.
And which I understand, but I think you are picking up on maybe I don't want to say negativity or whatever, but you're probably picking up on the bad things or bad times down there. Because that's where the service quarters were. Also where the slaves would live.
hmm
They even had some stuff down
Yeah.
there, but that's for another time.
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't quite remember. I was just thinking about that when I question that. I don't quite remember why I didn't go up because you guys,
Yeah.
I know it was small to where I don't think all three of us could go up at the same time.
Well, we could because another lady came up behind us and she
Oh.
wanted to take pictures as well.
Yeah, I just,
You just didn't want to be that tight with him and make the widows walk a real thing.
yeah, yeah. I just didn't, I don't know if I felt weird or uncomfortable or I just,
You just said no. Yeah.
Also, maybe that was something there. Was there anything
Something.
else other than what we'll get to later? Was there anything with you guys specifically that stuck out?
Just our experience in the closet with
Yep.
Vance,
Yep.
not just his scratch, but the way the
feeling
closet
the
door. And this, it could have, at first I'm thinking it's just what they said, that bad things could have happened in there, but I don't know if we should cover that with Vance.
Yeah.
Or
Let's
just
get
the
into
closet.
that right now, and then we'll talk to Vance about what happened to him.
Okay.
People are definitely going to want to hear what you just hinted at, what happened in the closet. And I'm going to get yelled at that. We don't expand by.
Well, I was going to
Dennis.
expand with Vance because it was all of our
Okay.
experience, but
Mhm.
he had the most
He's the one that-
impact.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the one that experienced it like firsthand.
Yeah, and the way he was, yeah. We talked about him recently, and I learned a few new things recent. But when we were in the closet, the doorway, we first of all, the closet's roughly 4 feet by 8 feet, so
Yeah.
it's a big
It's
room.
a nice walk-in closet.
There's also rumors that we'd call the butler that lived there. He would have small children and young women in there, and he would like torture them, and who knows what happens, which brings you back to the bones they found downstairs, or it was in the basement.
Yeah,
I
it's in
think.
the basement. Yeah.
So you never know if that ties in, but with the little, I mean, you figure there was hundreds of years of history there, and we covered a few hours
Yeah.
of
Right.
that. So, who knows what happened there. But so when we all got in there, it was 2 chairs, and you two were sitting down. Vance was sitting at the far end.
I was sitting across from him.
Yep. And I was sitting in the doorway, which was a lot closer to you. And I wanted to shut the door, and it stopped because the door has been painted, probably
Multiple
20
times.
times. But so it kind of stops like anybody has an older door that's been painted or whatever. And then you kind of actually have to pull on it to get it to finally click in. So I stopped it right where it kind of snugly held itself, but it was still letting in a little bit light so we can kind of see what was going on in the room a little bit. But for some reason, while I was standing there, we'd be talking and it just kept getting darker and darker, which to me means the door was closing. And that just didn't make any sense because it was already snug. And it's not like I'm pulling on it. The worst thing I could be doing is maybe leaning on it and opening it more
Yeah.
so it'd get lighter. So I remember thinking that was weird. And finally I turned around. It happened twice. Finally I turned around and shut the door and said, there, I took care of that problem, which it wasn't until later I realized that maybe that was something going on as well.
So in this closet, the stories are that there was a butler that worked there,
Correct.
Yep.
and he used to have kids and young
Women.
women.
That's
Or
the rumor. And he'd keep them
women.
in there and torture them, and
Yeah. And
Really?
do very not
which
good things.
doesn't, I mean, you would think that other people in the house would know that. That's
Yeah,
just the rumor.
How would you get
Again,
away with that?
it's yeah, exactly. Unless there was something else going on. We always don't know what the times were. Maybe there's
Still going on.
but
Yeah. You just don't know.
I think you'd have a harder time getting away with it. Yeah.
So the story there is there was a butler that used to keep kids and women in this closet and torture them.
Yeah, that was what the rumor was.
Yeah. When we went on the tour guide mentioned that the butler would not do not so great things to women and children in this closet.
Yeah, she was trying to give it a vague descriptions, not to offend anybody, but yeah, it sounds like the guy was a creep.
What I guess where was he getting the women and children without anybody noticing? Let
Well,
alone,
Well, with the house being a party house,
I guess,
who knows?
snag someone's kids and put them in a closet. And
Maybe
Well, I'm sure they stayed there. I'm
Yeah.
sure the women and children, women with the children stayed there. 'cause
they could have worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. We're speculating at this
Yeah.
point, but yeah, who knows
Well, you said something about they found a girl's.
The bones downstairs. Yes. From what I understand, the lady who found them, she wasn't. She said that she felt that she was driven to look for this thing, for the bones, or she was digging around, and she was not dressed for something like that. So her saying that she was driven to go look for this thing, and it was kind of something making her try to find this. And finally, she found the bones. It makes me wonder if it's not connected to whatever's going on upstairs, if something did go wrong.
Yeah. They really didn't like us. They had a hard time, even the tour, of having us go down in that basement. They wouldn't speak a lot about what happened, the history. They just
Yeah,
they
even
shied
said that-
away from it, and then we just moved on.
I remember it. Didn't it say something on the website at one time? This was before. Now there's new owners there. That some of the people that work there didn't feel comfortable with going downstairs, and they wouldn't.
Yeah, and I think they on the website they would mention what tour guides would take you or would not take you to the basement because they felt so uncomfortable.
Which speaks right there.
Mhm, yeah,
Oh, what's going on there? This is somebody's job, and they're like, nope, I'm not going down
Yeah,
there. Whatever's down
it's
there
very
doesn't want me
dark.
there, and I don't want to be there.
So naturally, you wanted to go to the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In fact, we weren't even sure if we were supposed to. The second time we went there, we just
we booked a tour.
we
Yeah,
booked a
was that-
tour, and they overbooked us. And we told the lady, says, we just told her we really don't need the tour, and she was thankful for that. I said, if you just let us walk around and investigate until it's time for us to go, that'd be great. And she said that
Sure.
she was perfectly fine with. She
Yep.
was actually happy that she didn't have to worry about us. And that's when we kind of slipped downstairs because I wasn't 100% sure we're supposed to be down there, but they didn't lock the door. So
Yeah. Yeah. So we went down there. You took pictures.
yeah.
I think we did a little, not a lot, but a little recording.
Yep. We did. We didn't really catch anything.
No.
Although the house is full, people milling around.
Yeah. You could hear the footsteps upstairs and just
Yeah.
people talking. So go down there.
The biggest thing that happened there would be what happened in the closet then for you guys.
Oh, by far,
For,
absolutely.
for us, yeah,
Yes.
our experience was mostly Vance's.
Right. So I think soon here we'll get Vance on. He can
Yeah.
start telling us
We'll
about
bring
it.
Vance on. We'll have you two swap spots.
All right. See you guys later.
Them or do you?
You can if you want.
Okay.
That mean go?
Yeah. Okay.
Usually it's first time we use that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, welcome, Vance, our youngest son. We are going to be talking about his experience inside that SK Pierce walk in closet.
Yep.
Hello, Vance.
Hello.
Good morning. It's the first time we've recorded in the morning.
All right. So, the walk in closet that Dad and I and you were in.
Yep.
So at that, when you were in there, you were just sitting in the back in one of those metal folded chairs. Yeah, they don't have there's no sharp edges on those. It's just like your typical one you'd see anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like your
In a
typical,
church basement.
Yeah,
That's what they would have.
typical, yeah, steel rounded edges. And we were just asking questions, and we weren't even in there very long.
At least 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, about 5 minutes, but yeah, I think the recording for it was only 3.5. But
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
settling in, sitting down, started asking questions, and I'd have to I didn't get anything on the recorder actually.
That was quiet.
Yeah, I went over it twice because of your experience.
So, when you were sitting there on the chair, did you feel anything?
No, it was after when we walked out of the closet.
Okay. So, you don't remember scratching or anything was
Would you say?
itching you or?
I'm wondering if it would be as we're leaving. You think
I'm going to say, yeah, it was after we left. Yeah.
it was? Well, you didn't feel it till after we left, but it was
Yeah.
probably as we were leaving. Yeah, don't you? I don't know about you, but I just keep feeling it was somebody just trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
You're like not trying to hurt you, but just saying, hey, maybe they didn't want us to go, and we didn't know that till later.
So do you feel comfortable talking about exactly what happened to you?
Yes and no.
Okay. Okay. So I'll explain it. So we were in the closet and we were leaving, and you went first. You walked out first in front of us.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was
Yep.
leaning almost against the door, so
Yeah. So you left, and then I got up and I left, and then Vance, you left right after me.
Yeah.
And Dad went and talked to the tour guide.
yeah, I wanted to go.
chit-chat.
I was just gonna just see what's going on and talk about maybe an investigation by ourselves.
Yep.
And then you went to the stairs and you were just
Yeah, and then we walked to the landing of the stairs. I think I might have had to go downstairs to use the restroom, and all of a sudden you're like, "Mom, my back."
Like-
we just say it was on
Like my back hurts. Like it's on fire.
Yeah,
right.
like
Yeah.
Mom, my back hurts. It's on fire. It hurts so bad. I'm like, really? I'm like, what? And he's like, Mom, it hurts so bad. It's on fire. Feels it's on fire. And I'm like, okay, can you stop and let me look? So he turns around. You lift up your shirt on your lower back. There is scratches going vertical, kind of like vertical down your back. And all of a sudden,
Well, I'd say almost more horizontal.
well, yeah, it was kind of like vertical going, kind of,
Yeah.
like a
Like, hey,
like a
where
J
you going?
almost.
Hey,
Yeah.
where you going?
Yeah. And all of a sudden I just stopped.
When people think scratches, I think it's just a theory. I'm not 100% invested in this. They always think, fingernails.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if their realm, if, going down the rabbit hole, is that they're maybe so cold to the touch or something to where it would burn, or the other way around. But just the touch from their realm to ours would cause a little red mark on the back,
Yeah.
and as
There was
opposed
multiple red marks going.
yeah, like a hand.
Yeah. So yeah.
So who knows if they were trying to hurt you, but like even you said, just maybe trying to get our
Yeah.
attention.
So I turned my head and I went, Terry, you need to come here.
I heard the tone and it said something's up. I just stopped what I was doing. I turned and you said, you got to come here and look at this. And we started just the way we were acting, even though we were trying to keep it on the down low. Started getting everybody's attention just because the way we were. You really had a stressful tone in your voice. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, how old was he? He was
well,
12,
no,
11,
no, he was older than that.
No.
15?
15.
Yeah.
15? Okay. So you were old. And you took a picture,
Took a few pictures there and then went back.
went back in there.
Yep.
And asked a few more questions.
I asked if I could, where I left, I was like, I want to go back up to, because they're kind of booting us out. I said, would you mind if I go upstairs real quick and just to tell the story better later? I want to show people the closet, because we didn't really take any pictures in the
No,
closet until
no.
after. I said, I wanted to show what the closet looked like and the chair.
chairs,
And then I said, I'll be right back. And she had no problem. So that was nice of her just
Yeah.
to say, yeah, go ahead.
because the experience,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So I ran up there and I just took pictures and put them on. And yeah, just showing the folded chair where you're like, yeah, that wouldn't give you the same scratch.
So how did you feel after that, when knowing from what you were feeling and what Mom saw on your back? How were you feeling at that time?
Shocked almost.
Why do you think shocked?
No, actually.
Well, like me, maybe it was just, I never really bought into they could do that because it never happened to me. And that's usually,
Yeah.
anybody that says, well, it didn't happen to me. And I understand that because I do the same thing.
Because I didn't expect it to happen.
Right. We didn't expect anything. It's a tour investigation,
Yeah.
which I don't put a lot of ambition in. We're there for fun. A tour investigation to me is let's just have fun, do some recorders,
Yep.
and something happens, it happens. But yeah, this was a little bigger than what we were expecting. So
Yeah.
maybe,
And
yeah, just
Did you go back to the closet, or were you unsure?
Yeah. You took a picture of me just sitting down on the metal chair.
That was the second time we went in there, though, right?
I think so.
But not that night, because I think the evening was coming to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the next time we went upstairs for me to take a picture was just to take a picture of the empty closet. But the second time we were there, yeah, we did get in there. And you weren't real happy with, I wanted you to go back in there yourself and see what would happen. And you didn't want to do it, but maybe now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you got, yeah, first a little bit of fear is in place. Now, now you got, questions to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the questions, from your opinion, what do you think? If it was, who do you think it was? What do you think what's your opinion on that? Do you have any feelings on that?
I don't know.
Okay.
What would you feel? I mean, your first response, what would you say did it?
Probably a random child, something trying to get my attention. I don't know.
Like, so a child, or maybe a young lady, or you're still thinking child more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just opens up so many more questions, like what would be stuck there? Or is it, I don't know. It wouldn't be residual because it's trying to get your attention. So, well, that was, I just remember I also took the picture of it in the morning.
Yep.
And they were still pretty prominent there. You could see them.
Did you feel it in the morning at all, or was it just mainly
Nothing.
no?
Nothing.
So
Yeah, the marks were there, but yeah, he didn't feel it much anymore. So, yeah, that's interesting. Well, thanks for being on. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Well, maybe we should rate it. Should we do the rating?
sure.
Okay. Should we? Why don't you hand that in from our new sound guy? Are we all just gonna? Okay, we can all just go over the questions, I guess, and see where we rate it. And all you have is a marker that's
Highlighter.
okay.
Yeah. So for SK Pierce, our location, SK Pierce Mansion. So we have 9 questions
Yeah, ratings.
for
To
ratings.
Give it a 0 out of 10 is what
Yes.
we've been going with.
1 out of 10. It says
Or-
1 out of 10.
Okay. I guess nobody gets a 0. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets
Everyone gets a
a
1.
participation
Yes.
trophy. Got it.
So locate our backstory. So the backstory, I think there's a lot of history, a lot of different
yeah.
history on this
I'd give it-
mansion.
I'd give it an 8.
That's what I was going to say
8,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like, I hate to refer everything back to Veluska, but, that has a horrific backstory
Backstory,
that everybody seems to know.
Yep. First impressions. Number 2 is first impressions. I think it's a 10.
10.
Okay. I was going to give it a 9 because not everything gives it is
No,
a 10. But
it's-
yeah, I'm fine with a 10 though.
But I think it depends on I see it as a 10 because of the architecture and
Yeah.
the way that I see it, from
No, absolutely.
you
Plus
know.
the way it sits up on the
Yeah.
hill a little bit.
Yep.
And like I said, you have to look up to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3 is creepy factor. I think this varies. I think if you drive into Gardner towards it at night with the lights on and how they have the lights in the house, it gives you that creepy factor because of the color of the exterior.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's just beautiful. I creepy factor, I'd only give it maybe a 6.
I was gonna say a 6
I
or
mean,
a 7.
if you didn't know anything about the stories and you went in there, you would just think it was a beautiful home.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe you get a little creepy. So maybe I'd just go with the 6.
Location for restaurants, gas. This is right downtown
Right.
in the
So
small town of Gardner.
the only thing would be depending on what time they close.
Yeah,
But location is easily an 8.
I agree. An 8 for sure. Activity. I mean, for me, it's a 10.
Well, yeah, it's a
I mean,
brand new experience you actually had the experience, but even
Yeah.
for me, I take it as an experience we all kind of shared. So yeah, I'll give it a 10.
10.
Why not?
Accommodations. I think it just depends on what kind of accommodations you're looking for.
It was just
right?
a tour.
Yeah.
And we don't know really what's going on now.
Yeah.
Because it has changed. Now you
Yeah.
can spend the
New
night there.
owners.
New owners,
Yep.
yeah. But it was nice.
I think
I don't know.
for our experience,
I give it a 7,
yeah.
just because even a lot of people really don't have like good like t-shirts to sell and stuff like that. They had like a small rack.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
again,
not a lot of merchandise.
yeah, I don't know why people don't merch.
Merch yourselves.
We merch everything.
Yes, you
We
do, at
as in
least.
me.
Yeah, you do. Friendliness of the locals. I mean, we
We
really
didn't really meet him, but it doesn't seem like there's an issue there.
no, not at all.
I think the neighbors, from what I've heard, understand that the place is haunted. Some people want nothing to do with it, but they don't mind people going there, from what I heard.
Yeah,
So it's not like, again, Velisca seems to be the,
the one that
we had
Question.
an experience there with a lady that came up to us, and you couldn't have wrote a Stephen King novel better than that. I mean,
Yeah.
Stephen King should visit there and base his next book off that town. And then next time we go there, everything's fine. So, but
So I think for friendly as locals, I would say an 8 to a 9.
I'd
I
say
mean,
7
nothing-
because we don't really know for sure.
yeah, we didn't have any issues.
Yeah, we always go there towards evening,
Yep.
and nothing's really.
Same thing with you.
7, yeah.
Tour and merchandise. You just mentioned this. So
Yeah.
the tour
4.
was great. What do you think,
Yeah.
Vance?
Oh, the
Yeah,
tour.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't like tapping to get the tour was good, but the merchandising is lacking. I give it a 7. That's our experience. Again, everything has changed, so it's kind of hard to.
I think it and with our because we didn't the second time we went we didn't have a tour. We knew
But we were fine with.
we were fine without.
Yeah.
But our tour guide in the first one, she was really knowledgeable and just
Mhm.
answered questions and was really I thought was really good.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of the merchandise. I don't even think the first time we went there was any merchandise that I remember that was sold at that time. The second time there was, and
Yeah,
then
we just happened to walk into a
walk
room
into
that
the small
had
room.
a rack full of
Yeah.
T-shirts. Yeah.
So how did you like the tour, Van? So what would you rate the first
8.
time an 8?
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then price. So
I-
this is going to be different.
Again, it's the new price is involving spending the night. It was like $800 during the week,
$800 during the week and then $1,200 on the weekends.
which to me is a little on the pricey
A
side.
little on the pricey side.
And well, depends on how many people you can have there. They said they had up to 9 beds.
9 beds. But I mean, they do. They have a large kitchen, dining room, and beds to obviously be able to sleep in. They had, I think there's for sure 2 bathrooms that were usable. I think there
Yeah.
was one in the main level and I
Yeah.
think there was one upstairs.
So that's they're
So
good for
definitely,
that.
accommodating. We haven't investigated overnight, but at least it says on the website that's all available.
Clearly, I'm going during the week though.
Clearly.
Hard to get enough people up there to justify $800. You know, we're in Minnesota. If you guys didn't know that already, but to see if you can get 6 people to get on an airplane or even more to go investigate, that's asking some people a lot of money. Of course,
Even just the places
we
that,
enjoy it.
yeah, well, even just the places that in here in the Midwest that we've investigated, they're not $800
No,
at all. And they're what, twice, if not 3 times bigger than
yeah.
the mansion. And we don't pay half that.
You're thinking of Edinburgh,
Yeah, I am.
even BD Mansion.
Even BD Mansion.
Yeah, very, very excellent
Yeah.
places.
So that is the
Did we
sheet.
actually score it, or did we just? So
I think overall it was a great experience with everything. I mean, I would recommend SK Pierce.
yeah,
If
at least take a
anyone is-
tour. If you've been in the area, just go up there and at least take the tour. We do that a
Yep.
lot too. We just take the tour to say, well, let's take the tour and see if we ever want to investigate there.
Yep.
So that works out.
Well, thanks, fans.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining.
it's finally getting a little piece of part of this.
Yes,
Yeah.
getting part of the action. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hello.
Hello, welcome back.
I'm back just in time for the tip of the month.
Yeah, and I guess the tip of the month would be take notes while you're on the tour.
Before your
Yeah,
investigation.
you go to somewhere like because places like we've talked about Edinburgh, it's huge. So by the time you're done and she's told you 30 different stories and they all sound like, I don't, you might remember the first couple and then the last few, but the middle ones will get lost. So maybe take notes while you're on the tour. I would even suggest, as long as the people are okay with it, if you're new to a location, maybe put a post-it note on a door saying Hank's room and then stick it on there.
If you're staying after the tour.
Well,
If
of
it's
course,
not
yeah.
after the tour.
Well, I'm
You're
talking
saying-
for an investigation. You usually get a tour of the place before you get to investigate, and
Write down names because they blurt out
and they go
names.
fast.
They
Yeah.
go fast. They just walk you through, and it's like, wait a minute.
Room numbers,
Yep.
Yeah, room number, and this is so and so's room, and after a while, the rooms look the same.
especially in the dark.
Yeah, especially in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be my know your area. Take notes beforehand. You'd be surprised. You go back and read your notes and go, "Oh, this happened in there, and they said this would," something like that.
Well, and I think too, because you don't get all of the information when you Google it on the internet.
Oh,
They
correct.
give you a backstory of whatever is on the internet, what they want to tell you, but then there's so much more deeper that the tour or the owners go into that it's not on the internet. So you can kind of cross-reference both what you've read on the internet plus what you've learned there too.
Yeah, because they always have in-depth stories.
Yes.
And if you are staying for the investigation after the tour, those names come in handy, especially if you know the room number. It might just give you that extra little comfort with them when you're trying to communicate. If they are in there, you sit,
Yeah, I can
by
maybe give a name. Is so and so in this room?
or if they give you a name and you go, "Yep."
Yeah,
That's
trust
the
us.
room.
Yeah.
That'd be like Paul's room when
Yeah. We didn't know his name.
we didn't know Paul's room, and that was Edinburgh again. And I don't think she actually gave it to us.
Not
and we
the
found
first
it.
time.
Second time I asked, it was just to catch her off guard because originally I think she said he wasn't telling people who was there.
Yeah.
Something about the time wasn't that long ago, and she didn't want to. When you watched, and she goes, "Oh, is that Paul's room?" And she said, "Yep." And I just felt validated. I was like, "Okay, I'm ready to go. I've had enough."
Yeah.
Well, having the notebooks, especially now in general, that we need to be a little more vigilant in going back and finding the evidence and not just going, "Yeah, that happened." Because now that we're running the podcast, we're gonna having those notebooks. We can write down this happened at this time of night. It caught it on this recorder or this cam that we had set up, so we can go back and look right at that camera, right at that time, and save that evidence.
Yeah.
A little
Right.
bit and log it,
Yep. Absolutely.
and then show you guys.
Yeah. And if you start a paranormal team, make sure the paranormal team is willing to look at evidence.
That should be.
I failed in that
Yeah.
department.
Well, we might have burned ourselves out listening to it in the car for hours after investigations for 5 years.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell you. We
Well,
still got more evidence to listen to.
The more equipment you add, that it just adds more that you have to look over. And we added so much equipment so fast, I feel like it turned into like, oh, I look at 4 different cameras. Now we got to look
Now
at all
it's
these recorders.
8.
Now it's 8.
8. How many recorders?
And everybody's that's going to be my new rule. You get a recorder, and you have to listen to your recorder.
Maybe, yeah, that
That would
cool.
actually would save time for everybody. And
And if you're doing groups of 2, or we usually split up into groups of 2 or 3 or however. many
Yeah.
of us.
short groups.
Maybe, well, we always like 2 recorders per group because you have a
Abs-
control and you
definitely.
have one. So,
Sometimes it's best to set a recorder like out. Of course, we're going into other tip of the month or whatever. So,
right.
setting one outside a door maybe. So if you hear something outside and you're thinking it's from the room, maybe it's actually louder on the other recorder. Here you find out, oh, it's somebody, moving a lawnmower or something. I don't know. You never know what you're gonna
Yeah, or
hear.
you hear something on one recorder, the other recorder's not far. Should have picked it up, but nothing was on that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's significant as well. You go, oh, it sounded like something spoke into this thing. Let's see if it was outside. This one should have caught it too.
Yeah, then you have just that isolated room.
Yep.
Especially with some of those voices. Yeah, I'm kind of excited when we get back to Edinburgh and tell that story here pretty soon. I'm not sure when we're going to do that. What do you think our next episode is going to be on?
Oh, where we're
Probably
going.
the Granger
I'm gonna
house,
say,
since it'll be fresh.
It'll
in
be
our mind.
definitely fresh. Yep.
Mhm.
And I think we plan on doing a little bit of podcasting from location, right?
Well, not live, but yeah.
Well, yeah, podcasting from there, recording
Yep,
it.
yep.
And then finish it up back here in the basement.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some more video for everybody to watch. So that'll be fun.
I do plan on bringing the GoPro for body cam so we can get a vlog on the YouTube. Then people can kind of follow us on every step. I don't know, packing it, squeezing into the car, since I think I'll be riding with you guys this time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be. Well, I'll make more stops.
Well-
Everybody stretch out.
He is trying to get a new, bigger vehicle before then. So
I
we'll
heard.
see. We'll
Yeah,
see if
we'll
we can.
see.
I heard who was actually trying to get the new, bigger vehicle.
Thank you. He is trying to. Yeah, I heard that. But yeah, and as you see, we got set changes. We got the new table. I think we're all excited about this.
Love the table.
Love the
Yeah.
table.
You got the built in. When we get up and walk away, we're not tripping over wires anymore. It's all wrapped in one little box.
Yeah, the only one trapped is you now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the only one. So
Wrapped.
yeah.
You delegate anyway. Go grab that. Run upstairs, grab that. Now this allows you to do that.
Sounds like, do I?
Yes.
Okay. Good for me.
Delegate to elevate.
Yep.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we're done.
All right. Well, thanks for watching and listening this time.
And we'll see you in the basement.